So today we're going to talk about shame. And I must give credit to Brené Brown when it comes to my knowledge of shame and even vulnerability to some extent. That being said, to talk about shame, we have to talk about vulnerability because you can't have one conversation without the other. Shame is often quiet. It hides. It convinces us to stay silent. And in that silence, it grows. It becomes the force behind so many of the behaviors that keep us stuck. Patterns we don't understand, reactions we can't control, and pain we don't know how to express. At its core, shame is rooted in a fear of vulnerability. It's the fear of being seen, fully seen, and then rejected because of it. So instead of opening up, we shut down. Instead of sharing, we hide. And over time, that silence keeps us trapped. And when we carry that into our relationships, it doesn't just affect us. It affects everything. If we're the ones holding on to that shame, we limit the amount of depth, honesty, and growth that relationship can reach. And if we're with someone who is carrying their own shame, but is too afraid to express it, we feel that distance, even if we don't understand it. The truth is, vulnerability is not weakness. It is courage in its purest form. It takes courage to say, this is where I'm hurting. It takes courage to say, this is what I'm struggling with. It takes courage to risk being seen with every part of you that wants to stay hidden. And yet, that is exactly where change begins. Vulnerability is the birthplace of growth. It is where we find connection, creativity, healing, and transformation, as Brené Brown states. But getting there isn't flipping a switch or about flipping a switch. It's about taking small, intentional steps. It starts with one honest moment, one real conversation, one decision to speak instead of staying silent. And just as important as that step is, it's important who we take that step with. We are shaped by who we surround ourselves with. If we stay in environments where judgment, avoidance, or unhealthy patterns are the norm, we will continue to live those patterns out. But when we begin to surround ourselves with people who lead with empathy, people who listen, people who understand, who respond with me too instead of judgment, we create space for something different. Because those two words, me too, they are powerful. They are inclusive. They remind us that we are not alone. They remind us that we are not broken. They remind us that what we carry does not have to be carried in isolation. And when we no longer feel alone, something shifts. We begin to speak more openly. We begin to release what we've been holding in. We begin to grow, not just for ourselves, but in a way that allows us to help others do the same. That's how change happens. It doesn't come from perfection. It comes from honesty. It doesn't come from hiding. It comes from being seen. And it doesn't come from strength as we often define it. It comes from the courage to be vulnerable. Shame isolates. Vulnerability reconnects. And courage is the bridge between the two. So the question isn't whether we're capable of change. The question is, Are we willing to take that first step to be seen, to be real, and to trust that on the other side of vulnerability, there is not rejection, but connection? Because that is where healing begins. Nobody's told you yet today. God loves you, and I do too. Have a blessed evening.